He was born with nothing, no title, no land, no name that mattered. And yet, he would one day rule an entire nation. This is not the story of a samurai, not a prince, not a general's son. This is the story of a peasant who clawed his way up through betrayal, war, and sheer force of will, until he sat atop a unified Japan. This is Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Welcome to Historical Channel, uncovering untold stories, hidden facts, and the strangest chapters of history. In the 1530s, Japan was in ruins. The country had entered a period historians call the Sengoku Jidai, the Warring States period. It was chaos. The Ashikaga shogunate had lost its grip, and without a strong central government, regional warlords known as daimyo fought like wolves over scraps of power. Alliances were fragile, betrayals were expected. War was a way of life. In this fractured, blood-soaked land, in a tiny village called Nakamura, a boy named Hideyoshi was born. His father was Kinoshita Yaemon, a farmer and ashigaru, an expendable foot soldier. His mother? A peasant woman, names rarely recorded, futures rarely imagined. The ashigaru were the cannon fodder of feudal armies, poorly armed, poorly trained, the kind of soldier you sent in first, hoping a few survived. Hideyoshi's path seemed laid out before he could even walk it. Work the fields, maybe fight, probably die young. But Hideyoshi wasn't interested in tilling soil until death. By the age of 15, he left home and threw himself into the only world with even the faintest whisper of upward mobility, the military. He joined the army of Imagawa Yoshimoto, one of the more powerful daimyo of the time. But he wasn't a warrior, not yet. He was a servant, a shadow, one more nameless soul in a sea of ambition. And then he did the unthinkable. He switched sides. In 1558, Hideyoshi left the Imagawa and joined a different master, Oda Nobunaga, a man just as ruthless as the world he sought to conquer. Oda Nobunaga wasn't like the other daimyo. He didn't just want to survive. He wanted to dominate, and he didn't care about your birthright, only your results. This was good news for Hideyoshi. He started at the lowest of the low. Some said he was Nobunaga's sandal bearer. Others claimed he managed supplies or repaired forts. Whatever the truth, he made himself useful, reliable, efficient, obsessed. Nobunaga noticed, and while most dismissed Hideyoshi as a joke, nicknaming him Saru, or monkey, Nobunaga kept him close. The insult would follow him, but so would opportunity. In 1560, Nobunaga crushed Imagawa Yoshimoto, the very lord Hideyoshi once served, at the Battle of Okehazama. The victory shocked Japan. And Hideyoshi? He was learning, watching, calculating. Then came his moment. Oda quickly took a liking to Hideyoshi, whose military talents began to flourish. As Hideyoshi showcased his skills, he rose in Oda's command structure. In 1564, Nobunaga planned to conquer the Saito clan of Mino province. Their castles were fortresses, nearly impregnable. But Hideyoshi didn't attack with swords. He attacked with silver tongues and promises. He bribed, persuaded, whispered doubt. When Nobunaga's army marched, the walls fell from within. Victory without a siege. Nobunaga rewarded him with a castle and a new name, Hashiba Hideyoshi. The monkey had climbed, and he wasn't done. For the next 2 decades, Hideyoshi was everywhere. He fought in Nobunaga's greatest campaigns, at Anagawa against the Azai and Asakura, at Nagashino, where muskets shattered the legendary Takeda cavalry. He oversaw logistics. He built roads. He moved armies with frightening speed. He became indispensable. But in 1582, while Hideyoshi was fighting the powerful Mori clan in western Japan, the unthinkable happened. Nobunaga was betrayed. Akechi Mitsuhide, one of his own generals, attacked his master at Honnoji Temple in Kyoto. Nobunaga, cornered and hopeless, committed ritual suicide as the flames consumed him. News reached Hideyoshi within days. He did not mourn. He moved. He struck a truce with the Mori, spun his army around, marched east in record time. 10 days later, he found Mitsuhide at Yamazaki and obliterated him. The message was clear. Nobunaga may be dead, but his legacy had teeth. Now, a question echoed through Japan. Who would take his place? Nobunaga had sons, loyalists, rivals. But Hideyoshi was faster, sharper. He adopted Nobunaga's grandson as a puppet heir, sidelined the others, and crushed opposition at the Battle of Shizugatake. He built Osaka Castle, a mountain of stone and ambition. And in 1585, he was named Kampaku, Imperial Regent, not Shogun. That title was reserved for nobility. But Hideyoshi no longer needed borrowed power. He had become the state. For centuries, warlords had fought for control of Japan. Within 5 years, Hideyoshi ended it. He brought the last holdouts, the Shimazu of Kyushu and the Hojo of the East, to their knees. In 1590, he stood as the undisputed ruler of a unified Japan. He immediately began reshaping it. He froze class mobility, solidifying samurai, peasants, artisans, and merchants into fixed roles. He ordered the Great Sword Hunt, disarming the peasantry to prevent future revolts. He regulated land ownership, standardized currency, and suppressed Christianity. Peace had come, but it was a peace built on strict control, and it wasn't enough. Hideyoshi had always been a climber. Now, with no more mountains in Japan, he looked across the sea. He wanted China. In 1592, he launched the Imjin War, an invasion of Korea. At first, it was lightning fast. His armies captured Seoul, swept north, but resistance stiffened. Korean guerrillas struck. The Ming dynasty sent reinforcements. Naval defeats choked supplies. Still, Hideyoshi pushed for a second invasion in 1597. It stalled. More blood, more failure, and then silence. In 1598, Hideyoshi died, possibly of illness, possibly of exhaustion. He had ruled for a decade, but his legacy was not yet safe. Hideyoshi left a young son, Hideyori, and a council of 5 regents to protect him. Among them was an old ally, turned patient rival, Tokugawa Ieyasu. In 1600, Tokugawa made his move. At the Battle of Sekigahara, he defeated the loyalists still loyal to Hideyoshi's heir. 3 years later, he was named shogun. The Tokugawa shogunate would rule Japan for over 2.5 centuries. Hideyoshi's son was forced to commit seppuku. His bloodline was erased. The Tokugawa regime tried to wipe Hideyoshi's memory from the history books, but they failed. Because you can erase a name from paper, but not from people. They remembered the man who rose from mud and rice fields to palaces of stone and power. They remembered the monkey who outsmarted lords, the peasant who became a king. This is the legacy of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Not just a unifier, but the greatest self-made man in Japanese history.